In this video, you're going to learn how to build an AI chatbot for your website for free and without code using Chatling.ai. You will learn how to build the chat flow, how to train your chatbot on your content and data, and how to embed the chatbot on your website. Make sure you stick around to the very end because I cover everything step by step. You can also use the timestamps in the description to navigate around the video. Hi, I'm Bjorn from WPLearningLab. Now let's get started. We're going to create a chatbot using Chatling.ai that is an expert in regards to our store. It's going to help us sell macaroons day in and day out on autopilot. So to get started, let's head on the Chatling dashboard, create a chatbot. You have a bunch of different options here that you might be interested in. We're going to choose AI chatbot for this use case. I'm going to call the chatbot Macaroon Store Expert. Chatling has now created a dashboard for us for this specific chatbot where we can see all the information about what this chatbot is doing and how it's interacting with our customers. The first thing we want to do now is build a chatbot inside the chatbot builder. And what's crazy is we can actually just use this demo chatbot that they created for us right out of the gate because it's exactly what we need. We have the start of the chat. There's a welcome message that says, I'm an AI chatbot that can answer all your questions. Before we get started, please provide your details below. They enter name and email, which is then stored inside your Chatling account. Chatling also connects with automation software like Zapier, so you can put the name and email into your CRM. Whatever information you collect in here, you can add to your CRM automatically or connect to whatever else Zapier can connect to. So once they enter the name and email, the next question is, hi, and it inserts the name of the person, the name they just entered right here. Hi, contact name, how can I assist you today? And there's a blank field where your customer can enter a question and the chatbot answers the question. And really, this is all we need for a macaroon store to have people become more knowledgeable about our product and ask questions about it. But there's a lot more we can do beyond the initial setup. Over here, we have blocks. We can add a text block, image block, video block, audio block, carousel. And there's also a capture response section. You have buttons, text, numbers, emails, URLs, date and time, phone, and forms that you can add to your chatbot. This right here is a form where we capture the name and email. Then we have the AI response, which is this block right over here. And we have conditionals. We have actions we can take. There's triggers we can take. There's a Zendesk integration and a cal.com integration. So you can check support tickets and your bookings, which is super cool. And a lot of this will take a lot of experimentation. And we can actually expand our chat a little more so I can show you how the blocks work while also showing you how to add stuff to your chat. So I'm going to delete this connection here. We're going to keep this block. We're just going to move it down. I'm going to change this text. Hi, contact name. Do you have any questions about our macaroons? And we can add a buttons block right into this text group. And it's just going to be yes or no. Yes for one button, add another button, no. And now we can send them in different directions depending how they respond. And now we can connect this to the yes response. So if they answer yes to this question, we have this question come up. Let's add a text block to it. And we're going to say or ask, how may I help you today? It's going to be a message as displayed. They're going to have a capture text or a field where they can enter information, and then there'll be the response from the AI here. I'm going to add another block so we can loop back to this question in case they have other questions. A lot of people might have more than one question, or the answer to one question leads to another question. You know how that goes. So let's add a text block. This will say, do you have any other questions? And then we'll add the buttons again. We can't duplicate them by right-clicking, we can delete. So we got to add it manually. We're going to have a yes and a no again. And this time, I'm going to connect this back to here, so then it loops back to this original question. However, it doesn't make a lot of sense the way it's working right now because the first time they come to this block, it's going to say, how may I help you today? Then they answer or they enter a question. The AI answers. Then they come over to here. Do you have any other questions? If they click yes again, it's going to go back to saying, how may I help you today? Which doesn't flow very well. It doesn't sound right. So what we're going to do is create a variable and a conditional answer. So we're going to store this button's answer, this yes or no, for do you have any other questions, in a new variable. These first variables that start with contact, those are all system variables that are built in the Chatling right from the very start. And those allow people or allows Chatling to store information of the people who you're chatting with inside the Chatling database, and then you can see it in your backend dashboard. User question is a custom-made variable that this specific chatbot template created for us. We're going to create another variable. I'm going to call this, just by typing here, more_questions and create. And now this answer is going to be stored in the more_questions variable. Now we can come back over to here and we can add a conditional block. Let's go into here and add variables. For this first one, I'm going to say first time through. I'm going to add another group, second plus time through. So we're going to have two different pathways based on what they answer or whether the variable over here is set. So for the first one, first time through, if the variable we put into group 3, more questions, is empty, then we're going to pass through to this one. And then for the second one, it'll be the second time through, which means I've answered this question here as a yes at least once. So I'm going to choose the variable again, the same one, more questions. I'm going to set if it contains the value yes, then we're going to go to a different block, which is going to be the same block. I'm sad I can't duplicate these blocks because it's going to be this exact block right here, just with a different format for that first question. So let's just recreate this block. This is going to say, how else may I help you today? And we're going to capture text. Put that right below there, capture text, and it's going to be the exact same setup as this. I'm going to add AI response. We have to enter the question here, which is going to be user question, which is the variable that this is going to be set to. User question. So everything goes into variables and it's shared with the AI or one chat group to the next and back and forth. This is the second time through, so I'm going to connect this one to here. We can label these boxes so a little more organized. AI answer number 1. I'm going to call this one AI answer number 2 plus, meaning second time through or more. Decide path for this one. And group 3 is going to be any more questions, question mark. So now we have everything done except for the no response. We have a no response up here. Do you have any questions? No. And here we have, do you have any questions? Also no. So I want those two to link to another block. I'm going to say for this one, sounds good. Would you care to join our mailing list? We're going to add a button. And this button is going to be yes or no. A lot of yes or no buttons. Yes, add button, no. I'm just going to connect these two no answers to this one. And then if they press yes, we can use our integration with Zapier to add them directly to a mailing list, which is super cool. And then if they say no, we can just say something else. I want to have responses for all these things. So if they say yes, great, you'll be hearing from us soon. Connect that to yes. And if they say no, alrighty, come back here anytime you need help with macaroons. Connect that to no. And now our chatbot is done. It was a little bit intensive because we have a variable path and some variables, but it's not that hard. It's no code, and it kind of makes sense. If you walk through this video again, it'll make a lot of sense how these paths worked. And in fact, I could even simplify this variable up here. Just have first time through connected to the first answer, delete the second time through, and just have the else connected to the second one, which would work just as well. So just delete this second one. This would be even easier. Delete that second one, connect the else to here. And we also want to connect this one to here so we can loop through that all day long. So we have our bot flow done, but we have not connected any data sources. So I'm going to click on save because I want to save my work. I think it auto saves along the way too. So back out here in the main dashboard for this chatbot, we have a knowledge base button. Here, we can add new data sources. The data sources you can use include a website, a sitemap, URL list, documents that you upload. They can be PDF, text files, or Microsoft Word files. You can add text that you paste in right here. You can add FAQs, and you can connect to a Zoho account to draw data from there. So our macaroon store is on a website, so I'm just going to copy the domain of that website, paste it in here. Under advanced settings, you can exclude certain things that are on your website. In this case, I'm going to exclude the header and footer and leave everything else and click on next. So this is crawling the website. This may take a few minutes. So I'm just going to pause this video and I'll come back once this is done. I'm pretty sure you don't want to leave this page while it's running. So you want to stay here. And once this is done, we'll check out the results. And then we're going to go to the appearance tab to change the display of the chatbot and how it appears on your website. The chatbot is finished scanning our website. We can see a full list of all the URLs here. There are 72 in total. And we don't need our chatbot trained on every one of these. so we can delete the stuff we don't want. For example, we don't want the chatbot trained on our login page. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to delete that and delete the other login page. I'm going to keep these uploads. These are images of the macaroons. We don't need to be trained on WP Admin. We don't need to be trained on Wash Trading and Safe Trading Practices Guide. As you can tell, there's a bunch of other stuff on this site. It's one of my demo sites that aren't related to macaroons. So I'm going to delete everything that's not about the products. I'll keep our terms of service. There might be a question that comes up in regards to that. You might want to have the privacy policy. If you have a refund policy, you might want to keep that in here as well. And I'm going to delete most of the things besides the product page. We'll keep the home page, keep the about page, keep the about Bjorn, keep the blog, delete the cart, delete all of these, delete the checkout. We'll keep the contact page. There we go. I think that's pretty good. We are now down to 35 pages. We have our advanced settings here. Again, I'm not going to use those. Click on submit, and this will be submitted to the chatbot as our knowledge-based data source, and it's done already. A great use of chatbots is to be very specific. So we have this one trained on just the macaroons. You can have other chatbots trained on just our checkout, because people who are on checkout pages, we're going to have a different set of questions than people who are just browsing the front end of the shop. So you can have different chatbots for those specific things. And the more specific your chatbot is and more specifically trained in those areas, the better it's going to answer the questions. Let's take a look at the appearance section, which allows you to change the design of the chatbot. This is how it looks by default over here. You can change anything you like as long as the options are over here. You can change the primary color like we just did. You can change the text color, the chat icon color, the chat width. You can make it quite wide if you want. This is for desktop only. You can also turn it off on mobile because sometimes this chatbots and any chat help just overwhelms a mobile screen. You can change the placement. These are your two options here. You can change the spacing, both horizontal and vertical. You can change the icon up here. You can make this a face. I'm going to put my picture in there. There we go. That's not bad. You have options to change the chat icon on the bottom right here. So it's an X when it's open, and it's a dialogue icon when it's closed. You can change the size of that icon. Make it nice and big so it stands out, or have it teensy weensy so nobody can see it. I'm going to choose somewhere in the middle. You can change the icon for when it's closed if you want right here. You can make it so it's not circular. I'm going to keep it as circular. The text tab allows you to change the header title. I'm going to say all about macaroons for that. Under configure, we can change the interface language. Auto changes based on the user's browser settings, so it'll translate everything. You can hide the powered by Chatling text if you have the right plan with Chatling. We'll get into that at the end of the video. You can ask user to rate the AI response. I'm going to say yes, because that's going to help us make the responses better in the future. Here you can add a hovering message on desktop. The message can be need help and just hovers over top of the chat box. You can turn that on mobile or off. You can have a delay. I'm going to have a delay of 3 seconds for the hover message to appear. You can show the sources for the responses. So if you're creating a chatbot for academic papers or academic research, you can show all the sources for what the chatbot's saying, which is super handy. You can enable auto open. I'm going to turn that on for desktop. I'm going to have it as once per visitor, but you can also choose once per visit. I figure if someone's been to your site and they open the chatbot, they'll know it's there in the future and they'll know where it is. You don't have to pester them every time, but that's up to you. And the duration I set to 5 seconds. So the chatbot will open after 5 seconds, and then 3 seconds after that, the hover message will appear. So let's save this. We're almost done. We have our chatbot built. We have the knowledge base in. We have the appearance customized. Now we go to website widget over here. We can choose whether we want it floating, inline, or full screen. And we have the code down below. Copy this code and we can put it in to our website. So let's go to the dashboard, and there's a handful of ways we can add this code to our site. One is editing our theme files directly, which is the more dangerous option. You don't want to make a child theme before you do that. I'll link to a tutorial in the card up above and the description down below to help you with that method if you want. The other method is installing another plugin. If you have Elementor Pro, you could just use the custom code option here and then include the chatbot specifically on whatever pages you want, because you have the conditional functionality with Elementor. Or if you don't have Elementor Pro, We can go to plugins and add new, search for code snippet. Any one of these will do. I'm going to choose this one here with 2 million active installs, 5 out of 5 stars, compatible with the current version of WordPress, last updated a month ago. That's all great. Since I'm installing a plugin on my live site, I should only back it up first. Just in case something goes wrong, I can restore to the original version of the site. If you want help with backing up your site and restoring it, there's a tutorial in the description down below that'll help you with that. And it just so happens that from a previous tutorial, I already have this one installed. If it wasn't installed, there'd be an install now button and then activate button. Down here, it'll add a code snippets option. Let's go to add snippet. We're going to add our own custom snippet. I'm going to call it general shop chatbot. Paste the code in there. I'm going to keep it as an HTML snippet, and I'd like to set it to be site-wide. I'd like to set it to be in the footer if we can. There we go, site-wide footer. Okay, then we want to turn this to active. Click on update. We want to double check inside of our Chatling account to make sure the bot's actually published, because I'm not sure we did that. Go to builder. I know we saved it. We're going to click on publish to actually publish it to live. Now come back out to the front end of the website, and our chatbot should be appearing in about 5 seconds. It appeared right away, but there it is. So in 3 seconds, we got the need help. So that's great. Click on that. Let's see how this works. So here I am. I'm an AI chatbot that can answer all your questions. Before we get started, please provide details below. Bjorn at WPLearningLab.com. Submit. Hi Bjorn, do you have any questions about macaroons? There's our first variable right there, adding our name. That's pretty cool. Yes, I've got lots of questions. How may I help you today? What is the most expensive macaroon? I have no idea what it's going to say, because it's AI. It's going to go in there and try to find stuff, and it found this one, 34.9. Is that the most expensive one? Let's take a look. Let's go to the shop, because if you work with AI before, you know they sometimes hallucinate and make stuff up. So we're now sorting from high to low once this page is refreshed. And the pink macaroon, which was the answer, $34.90, is the most expensive macaroon, but we also have this one over here, which is a different product. Let's see what happens when we gotta do this again. I wonder if there's a way for it to remember that you were here just 1 second ago. What if we ask it what the most expensive product is? Let's see if it pulls up this one. What is your most expensive product? It should be pulling up you pick the macaroons for $44.90. I don't have the information to provide an answer. So I'm not sure why, but it's not picking up this one here. And this is a matter of training. So we know that this question, what's your most expensive product, it didn't know the answer to. I'm going to give this a thumbs down right here. Very few chatbots are going to be perfect out of the gate, but luckily we can guide it in the right direction. And so I'm going to go into that dashboard for our chatbot and go to conversations. And here it shows the conversations that just occurred. And I think it'll show we got a thumbs down here, rated not helpful. Fine tune this answer. So here it says, I don't have an answer for this, as a bunch of sources. Fine tune this answer. What's your most expensive product? I'm going to say you pick the macaroons for $44.90. You can check them out here. I'm going to add a link. Let's copy that link to here. Fine tune. Now, let's see if it learned. Let's come back out here, refresh, start another chat. Just going to copy my question here. That way I don't have to type it again. Yes, I have questions. How can I help you? Answer this one correctly. That's how you can help. And bada boom, there it is. What's funny is it also added this part. Our most expensive product is the... I didn't have that in my fine tuning, did I? I don't think I did. I don't recall, but I don't think I wrote that. I wrote, you pick the macaroons for $44.99. You can check them out here. So that's pretty cool. Problem is the chat's ending right then when I actually wanted to come back and ask, can I ask you another question? Which is what we set it up to do over here. The how else may I help you? After this question input, we need to connect it to here, which I don't think is happening. And this is a bit of a confusing jumble of arrows, but it works. When you build it, you kind of follow along correctly. So now when I do this, we should have our full chat, including that looping question. Yes, I have a question. I'm going to ask it a different one. Do you have any green macaroons? And because this has green in the title, I don't think it has green in the description or the variables for that one. And here, yeah, we have green ones, green macaroons with raspberries. That's that one. And then green macaroons right here. It includes their prices. Now it asks, do you have any other questions? When I click yes, it should say, what should it say? How else may I help you today? And it didn't. Went to how may I help you today? So we've got to delete this one because it goes to here. We want that to go into this one up here. And we also want this first one to go into this one up here. And then this will decide which path it'll take. As you can see, it's super easy to manipulate your chatbot. It's going to take a little manipulation. It's going to take some fine-tuning and testing to get the flow just how you want it, just like we're doing here. It's going to take some fine-tuning and testing to get the knowledge of your chatbot to where it needs to be. How may I help you today? I want to restart. New chat. I do have questions about macaroons. Yeah. How many macaroons do you have? I don't think this is going to have an answer because that's not something I had on the website, but we'll see. Don't have information for this answer, but you can use this to expand your chatbot's knowledge by thinking of questions people may ask that you don't have answered on your website. Do you have any other questions? Yes. Now it should say, what else? What else may I help you with? And then it just loops around and around. What time is it? This is probably not going to have an answer either, but it's fun to test it. Don't have an answer. Okay, that's good. No more questions. Sounds good. Would you care to join our mailing list? Yes or no? I'm going to say yes. Great. You'll be hearing from us soon. And that's that. We've got an AI chatbot on our site making sales for us. And that's how easy it was. In fact, it was pretty in-depth. It wasn't super easy, but it's not hard either. You just got to go through the steps. And because we were building that first one step by step, it was a lot slower than it would be when you've built a couple already. A couple other use cases you might want to consider. If you go to your checkout page, let's add a product to our checkout. Add to cart. Let's go to our cart. The chatbot appears here as well. And we can have a different chatbot for our checkout page, which I highly recommend because the questions people ask on the checkout page are going to be different questions than they ask on the regular shop page. And you can easily go back to your chatbot home, create a chatbot, and create another one, just like we did for the store, but maybe a little differently. What I would do, let's just use the macaroon store expert as an example, is for the knowledge base, I would create an FAQ section. This is how we fine-tuned it. Remember we had that most expensive product question that didn't have an answer to? We fine-tuned it here using this. And because the cart really has no information to pull from as far as answering questions goes, you'd create a very thorough FAQ and you'd answer things like, do you have any coupon codes? What is your estimated shipping time? What's your return policy? Do you ship to this place? Whatever that place may be. And you want to have like a very, very thorough set of FAQs. The more thorough you do it, the better your chatbot is going to be on your checkout page. And it can really help answer your customers' questions at that last minute when they already have their credit card out and they're like, I've got one more question. That's why live chat really helps on a checkout page. But in this case, your AI is helping because it has all the same answers that a chat agent would, as long as you build your FAQs properly for your knowledge base. Another great option is if you're selling digital products or something else, coaching or a course or what have you, you can have your chatbot on the sales page for that. And you also train that differently than you would a cart bot or a general shop bot because it's trained specifically on your product and the FAQ is related to that product. So there's lots of use cases for creating your AI chatbots and they're super easy to do. What you do need though, we use this snippet integration plugin here, which doesn't allow us with the free version to specify specific pages. So I couldn't specify just going on the cart page with the free version of this, but I can if I use the Elementor custom code over here or a paid version of a snippet plugin. Then I can specify specific pages for your specific chatbots. And you will, I'm pretty sure, see an increase in your sales for yourself or for your clients, whoever you're building this for, if you create chatbots in this way. If you want to check out Chatling, there's a link in the description down below. You can start for free. In fact, there's a free forever pricing plan. I don't know if this will stay free forever, but it currently is. You can have up to 2 chatbots running for free, which I think is pretty generous. You get 100 AI credits. These are used for responses that your chatbot gives. You can have 5,000 AI knowledge base characters. The higher plans you get, the more AI credits, as in the more responses, and the larger the knowledge base can be that your chatbot uses. You can add all plans to unlimited websites, and the free plan includes 5 AI models. We saw some of those in this video, and higher plans have chatbot analytics, API access, you can export leads, you have voice input, and you can remove the power by Chatling branding. There's also some add-ons down here for more credits and more chatbots. You can compare the plans. You can check out the use cases, customer support, and lead generation, which are different than the one we just did for the use case. And so there's a lot of stuff you can do with chatbots and just automate stuff really easily and have an intelligent system to respond to your customers. So I encourage you to click the link down in the description down below and check out Chatling. It's free. Rewind this video, play it back, set up Chatling on your site, and see if it helps you or your clients reach your goals faster. If you got value from this video, now is a great time to click subscribe and smash the like button to let me know. Next, check out this video up here, which is currently the most popular video on my AI channel. I'm Bjorn from WPLearningLab. Till next time, keep crushing it, and we'll see you in the next video.